Name's Jordan McKay, 23. It's a Renault 5 Camplus. I've had the car coming up to 3 years now in February. Like I said, I've owned it now nearly 3 years in February. I actually swapped the car. I never bought it. I had a Mark 1 S3 and the guy approached me wanting to do a swap deal with the car plus money my way. The story behind the car goes that obviously I swapped it for the Mark 1 S3. Basically the guy was riddled with cancer really bad and he wanted a car that was fast and reliable for literally the remaining 6 months that he could drive on the road. So the car was fully track built. Well, it was all stripped and had buckets in, so I gave him the S3 and in return I took the 5 plus a bit of cash because it was French, so it was unreliable and he didn't have the time, money or effort to fix it up to where he wanted it to be. So it's running a Clio 172 F4R, which is a 2 litre 16 valve. It's just got a base map on it, so it's running 170, but the car's about 850 kg, so it's about 225 per tonne. I'm running GT turbo, front brakes with grooved and drilled discs. It's on gas, coilovers in the front and dampeners in the back. A GT turbo rear axle, which allows you to run discs rather than drums. It's got a custom 2 1/4 manifold, 4 to 2 to a 1, and then it's 2 1/4 all the way back, which is fully custom. The interior wise, I'm just running a standard Sparco steering wheel, not quite sure what model it is. Rover 800 Recaros in the front with centre stitching to match in the rear. It's on 15 Renault turbos. I'm sure they're a 7J. I'm on Nankang NS2Rs, which are a 195 50 15, which I'm really impressed with. It's got braided hoses, like all new brake lines, all new fuel lines. I'm running a new fuel tank from a Clio Williams that runs an internal baffle, so it helps with like stopping fuel surges. It's got a forged induction kit, which sounds great on the car. It's running Vibra Sport racing mounts, and then it's like custom engine mounts along with the alternator mounts. The hardest part of the ownership has been the last 10 months, restoring it. What started out to be just an engine swap spiralled into a full restoration of the car, underside and a respray, obviously plus the engine swap. And then towards the end of the restoration, when the engine was in, I've had to remove the head twice now. Once being the head gasket and then the second time being the crank pulley bolt went, smashed all the valves, damaged quite a lot on the head, so I had to have that redone, and that was more headache because I had the car on the road and it was finished, but then a silly mistake of not torquing the bolt up properly caused me money plus less time on the road this summer for shows. Favourite thing about the car is hearing everybody else's stories about this car when they had it when they were younger. Like being 23 and owning such an old car, all I hear is, when I was your age, I had this car, and then they go on to explain all the stories they've had, all the fun, all the breakdowns. The max power era, that's when you hear it quite a lot. The biggest dislike, well, I've done that much to it now. I'd probably have to say the untidiness of the engine bay. Obviously, because I was doing the full restoration, I was sort of running out of time when I wanted it on the road for this show season this summer. So I do want to do tucked wiring and stuff like that, because the wiring in the bay, that is probably my worst pet hate about the car, is that it looks untidy in the bay when the rest of the car looks so neat. Future plans would be throttle bodies next, definitely. My idea is to buy another 172 engine that I can completely rebuild, so 197 pistons, 197 cam, you know, we'll do throttle bodies on it. But it's just making it work with the throttle bodies on the car, the limited space that I've got. So I have no intentions of selling this car. Reason being is the money that I've spent on it is one, but my dad owned one of these, my mum owned one of these, my brother's looking into owning one of these. It's just it sort of starts off as like a working man's car, but the amount of time and effort that I've put into it, the figures that are on the market nowadays for a price on it, it's just nowhere near worth what people want for it. It's worth more. Like I said, you've not seen the times of when I've been sat underneath the car in the garage during winter, freezing, painting the underside. It's only me that knows that's been done, and you know, it's not something that you can just part ways with easily when you put so much effort into it.